Hi, I'm Cynthia Head and the founder of CAP Tutoring. I want to share with you why I'm so driven, so motivated to help students in the ACT. To know the root of that, you have to go back to when I was in high school. I had a fine ACT score. I was a good student, a very active student. My first year of college was paid for with a little office work. They handed me my first year of education, and I could have gone on to receive a second year there. But instead of taking them up on that offer, I decided to go to an expensive private college without any thought of how am I going to pay for this? So my independent adult self walked up to my parents and said, "So, getting ready for school. How do I pay for this?" And they walked me through how you get student loans. This is what you do. And this is part of being an adult. Another relative said, "Well, you can go ahead and get all the student loans you need because you'll have your whole life to pay it off." And so while I was buying books and paying for my school, I also threw in a flat screen TV while we were at it. Yes, I misused those funds. So part of my story is well into my adulthood, I was still paying on student loan debt. It was this noose around my neck, and with just a very hopeless situation. I went into the field of education. So teachers have a wonderful income, but not one where you're just like spilling out the edges. So instead of saving for my own kids' education, I had 4 children by this point, I was trying to pay off my own education still. So as my children got older, my oldest son entered into 7th grade, and he took the ACT with the Duke Tip program. And I was new to the field of education at that same time. And so I was learning like, hey, there's something to this ACT business. Everybody keeps talking about it. And I looked at the numbers at the scholarships available if you made a certain score. So I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's put some effort and thought into this thing. So from 7th grade until his junior year, my oldest son, year after year, we tracked it and watched that progress. And then the junior year, midway into his junior year, by December, he had reached his goal. And it was like, it was so exciting to have a mental academic goal and reach that and just wait, and wonder of what scholarship opportunities would come, and to receive that phone call from the dean of his university granting him that scholarship that paid for his school, that paid for his books, that gave him a stipend to travel. It felt like we were running away from wolves, and we had just made it into like safe territory. I mean, it was just like we had escaped. And the thought of him fleeing or escaping that trap of student loan that had plagued my life for so many years was one of the best parenting moments, because I had set him up for a different future than what I had. So now during college, he's not paying for college. He's saving up for his first home. He's investing so that whenever he finishes college, he'll be able to have 20% or pay for a house straight out. A very different situation than I had when I had finished my college, graduated from college. Now I have 3 more children. Thankfully, My second child, my second son, is also in the top 1% of test takers, ACT test takers. So, it's so exciting. We're waiting to see what scholarship opportunities are available for them. They did the work. They got the GPA that they worked toward the GPA that they needed, and it's just exciting to see those possibilities. So now I have 2 more to go. I have 2 more daughters that starting in 7th grade. That's just been our pattern. We're bringing them through that, and it's such a gift as a parent to be able to contribute that to them. And if I had to say what are 2 things that I did that helped them, I would say, 1, they know it's a priority. 1, they know that mama cares about how this thing is moving with the ACT. And so I've got to imagine that anytime they have practice at school, internally their little flags raise that, okay, this is moving towards something that it's going to make a difference in their future. 2, my kids know that student loan debt, they know that part of my story. They know how it was a bondage for me for many years. And thankfully, we are planning, being purposeful for a different future for them. And 3, another thing I think that was helpful in that, you encourage all of their, all areas of study. But I think making readers, encouraging your kids to be readers from an early age is a big piece of that puzzle, because it does help them in the science and the reading and in the English. Like, all 3 of those are impacted by having a wider vocabulary and just being able to read quickly and just having great reading comprehension. So we talk about the ACT. I devote a lot of my time to helping students prepare for the ACT. And yes, it's nice to know where commas go, and it's nice to know how to use a semicolon, but that's really not what it's about. It's about kids that are entering into college debt-free, graduating debt-free, establishing their own families with a different future than what I had created for myself. So I wish that for my children, and putting efforts every day in small ways that compound. It's not one big thing that leads to that. It's those little choices. And I desire that for your children too. It's a great feeling to work towards that, and it's such a blessing when you see the reward after all those years of effort. So that's my why. That's why I've created this opportunity for my children, and why I am driven to connect great teachers with motivated students. Our goal is to raise ACT scores and avoid student loan debt.